We have a situation. This is from a few days ago. Black Tusk.
We're coming up on the building. The marker is our agent. We lost contact with her shortly after this.
Can we take a look at the surveillance footage she transmitted?
Let me switch over. What are they after?
At a guess? The DARPA labs and the sublevels. There are all kinds of Defense Department prototypes down there. This can only be bad news. The question is, how bad? We need to know. Which is where you come in, Agent.
So after their defeat at Tidal Basin, the Black Tusk have been discovered at the Pentagon. It's hard to tell what they're doing there, but given that the Pentagon is the headquarters of the United States Department of Defense, it's probably safe to say that we don't really want them there. The Pentagon also houses the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, otherwise known as DARPA. This agency of the Department of Defense is responsible for the development of new, advanced and highly classified military technology for use by the military. So it's likely that the Black Tusk are diving into the Pentagon with this in mind, in hopes of commandeering some of this advanced technology to be put to use against the last line of defense in Washington, D.C.
My God.
Early on in the mission, we come across a familiar face, Agent Sanders. This is the agent we were with when we were first alerted of the problems in the capital, when the SHD network was taken down. Sure enough, Sanders confirms that the Black Tusk have been pulling the Pentagon apart, taking anything they deem useful. A plan was made. With Sanders creating a diversion, the division was to find a way around the Black Tusk defenses and inside the Pentagon, to put a stop to the Black Tusk looting.
Listen up! We're en route to the Pentagon! Our orders are to get in, secure a bioreactor, and remain there to haul out anything that might be useful. I know this might seem like looting to some of you, but orders are orders, and there's a bigger picture here.
However, it didn't take long to find out that they weren't just looting a few extra toys to add to their arsenal. There was something far more important, hidden deep down in the research labs of DARPA. The division fought through the hordes of Black Tusk and made their way through the Pentagon, where they eventually found themselves face to face with a new type of drone that the BTSU had brought along with them. After taking it down and downloading the BTSU intel, we first hear of something called a Perfusion Bioreactor, and that the Black Tusk were attempting to extract it from the site.
This is a Perfusion Bioreactor. Thanks to you, we've got broad-spectrum antiviral medication that can prevent another outbreak. But we don't have anywhere near enough to go around. This thing will solve that problem. It's essential that we recover it. But there's another problem we need to solve first. We're pretty sure Black Tusk is using that drill to extract the bioreactor. They definitely don't want us to have it, so disappoint them. Wreck their plans. Do whatever it takes to make sure that equipment ends up in the right hands.
Essentially, the Perfusion Bioreactor, along with the broad-spectrum antiviral, is the solution to the worldwide pandemic. This device would allow authorities to create the antiviral in large quantities and at speed. The construction of the bioreactor has been going on for some time, potentially even before the virus was first released in New York City. From the recordings that can be found around the site, staff working for DARPA were preparing to leave for the upcoming Christmas holiday break, but were stranded due to the outbreak spreading and the following lockdowns that have been put in place across the country.
Well, that's great. My flight got cancelled.
Probably for the best. I don't think it's a good idea to fly into New York right now.
Is it really that bad?
It's not looking good. Sarah's talking about quarantine procedures.
Maybe I owe TSA an apology for the scathing voicemail I just left their department head. Well, shit. I didn't expect the virus to hit us here.
I heard both Bill and Mika came down with the flu, and that's why everyone's quarantined.
Yeah. That's some really bad news, both for them and for the project. It's gonna take so much longer to get everything done with these restrictions.
Guess that's what they get for having an office affair.
Cold.
Not my fault they decided to start cheating with each other and came down with a dollar flu.
Eventually the dollar flu made its way into Washington DC. Non-essential Pentagon staff were sent home, while others left behind were pushed to complete the bioreactor, all while being completely unaware of whether there would even be an antiviral ready in time.
Did you get the non-essential slip?
Nope. I'm stuck here. You?
Same. Guess you're stuck with me.
You think we'll actually get this reactor built?
Yeah. Not really worried about that, but I have my doubts that we'll have the antiviral. Can't manufacture doses of the vaccine without the vaccine.
Do you think the DCD won't find a solution?
We still don't have a vaccine for AIDS, and that's been killing people for 30 years. And with that, I think we're done.
Give the seals another check.
I've been over them 4 times. Everything's buttoned up.
No harm in checking again. The DCD still doesn't have an antiviral that's effective. Yet.
Fine. At least the work keeps me from thinking about how bad things really are.
What? They're evacuating the staff?
Our part's done. Reactor's built and tested.
I kind of figured they keep us on in case they need to run it.
You've seen the Sarah reports. The government is all but gone. The president's dead. The Veep offed himself. No one's coming to save us. This is the end times.
I've had enough of your negativity.
The Black Tusk were using a huge drill to dig down into the DARPA labs below to extract the bioreactor. The division was able to fight down into the DARPA labs and attempted to extract the bioreactor themselves. There was heavy Black Tusk resistance, including automated turrets and even Brenner himself. Fortunately, the division was successful in pushing through, and the reactor was extracted through maintenance tunnels and then via helicopter, the path that the Black Tusk were also considering if the drilling operation had failed.
This changes everything. Well, it will. If we're gonna produce enough antivirals to make a difference and be sure that what we produce is effective and safe, we need someone who knows what they're doing to supervise the entire process. We can't afford to take risks. But that's a problem for tomorrow. Today, let's celebrate your victory, because it's a big one.
This seems pretty obvious to me that we'll be seeing another familiar face soon. Dr. Kandel was heavily involved with creating the antivirus, so she would be the best candidate to run this operation. The division now have both the broad-spectrum antivirals and the Perfusion Bioreactor in their hands, and are being stored at the base of operations in the White House. This device, as discussed earlier, is capable of producing the broad-spectrum antiviral on a large scale, so this will be vital in the fight against the dollar flu. To be fair, we still can't be sure that the broad-spectrum antiviral actually works. We'll just have to take the word on it for now. Plus, Dr. Kandel, from New York City, was working on it, and she's a tough cookie, so I'm sure this one has been properly tested, unlike some of the other solutions that have come out. DZ62. For this one-time offer, you too can get the cure-all for... It's still uncertain as to what the BTSU wanted with the antiviral and the bioreactor. Perhaps to use as leverage, or maybe to be seen as saviors, as they are trying to create some sort of new world order. And if they were seen to be the ones who cured the world pandemic, rather than the current government, it would certainly help garner the support of the public. With Brenner dead, they've lost a powerful officer. But we need to keep in mind that this is the Black Tusk Special Unit, or BTSU. This unit, led by Barton Schaefer, is in charge of the Black Tusk operations happening in DC. This is just one unit of the full Black Tusk organization. From the story so far, they appear to be a worldwide organization, or at the very least have branches spread across the rest of the United States. We are far from putting a stop to the Black Tusk plans, and we still don't know who the organization is, or who employed them in the first place. Given their size and strength, it would seem a little strange by now, having been stopped by the division at both Tidal Basin and now the Pentagon, that they aren't considering a counterattack. We've seen how defenseless we are at the base of operations. It wouldn't seem like too big a task for an organization like the Black Tusk to assault and reclaim what they've been fighting for. I see this going one of two ways. The Black Tusk will soon launch an attack on the White House. Or perhaps the division are predicting this and have decided to relocate, abandoning the White House altogether. We already know by now that we're travelling back to New York in search of Arankina. So given the pressure that the Division are now under, and what they have to protect from the Black Tusk, why are they even interested in Arankina at this moment in time? What does he have to do with all of this? I have my theories. Some I've talked about before, some I've been going on and on about for a long time now, and some I've been mocked for because of how out there they seem. Hey, I feel like that's my job, to open up people's minds to the possibilities and potential directions that the story could go, no matter how crazy they seem. But I won't be talking about it in this video. The next video will dive a little deeper into what can be found in the DARPA labs, and will be a little more speculation and theory based. There's a lot going on down there. I think it's time for the tinfoil hat to come out. Before I go, I have a tiny little channel update. Very recently I started dropping the odd stream. Odd being the appropriate word. This isn't with the intention of cutting into my already very limited video making time, it's more of an extra. If I'm in game mucking about looking for intel, or maybe just farming to improve my builds with the balancing updates, from time to time I'll be chucking on the stream so I can have a bit of a yarn. Warning though, I can play these games pretty well, and I love a good chat, but together, I can't seem to do either particularly well. So don't come expecting expert gameplay packaged together with some fantastic banter. You'll be severely disappointed. Credit to actual streamers, it's a tough gig. You'll also notice that when live, I'm not quite as calm and collected as you see in my videos. Strangely enough, I actually like to have some fun while I'm playing games.
Right, you've been doing that for so long.
Oh, I've been playing this mission for like 2 hours now. Hang on, what is it? Yep, 2 hours, there you go.
Cooks has 10 kills, I have 8, and you have 250.
That's awesome. Yep, I have a laugh that will give small children nightmares. No apologies. No, seriously, my full-blown laugh actually makes my 3-month-old cry. Feels bad, man. Anyway, I'll have a link to my Twitch channel in the description. Come by and say hello when you see me on. I'll probably recognize a few of you from the comments. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!